Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating stories behind the ordinary stuff we take for granted. Today's curiosity comes from one of our awesome viewers, Jenny Breadfan92, clearly someone who knows their carbs. Thanks for the suggestion, Jenny. You asked, why does bread rise when you bake it? And let me tell you, it's not just flour and good vibes. If you've ever watched dough go from a sad little lump to a fluffy golden loaf, grab your apron and maybe a snack, because we're about to get into the yeasty, gassy, surprisingly dramatic science of how bread rises, right here on Explaining Everything. So let's talk about the yeast. This stuff is alive. Alive! I know, it doesn't have eyes or a face, so it's hard to emotionally bond with it. But trust me, it's a living, breathing fungus. Yeah, a fungus. You've been eating fungus this whole time, and you liked it. Yeast is the party animal of the microbial world. You give it sugar, and it's like, let's go! It starts eating that sugar like it's on a diet cheat day. And then, just like your cousin after too many tacos, it starts to burp. But here's the thing. Those burps, that gas, that's carbon dioxide. That's what makes your bread rise. Yes, folks, your loaf is basically a balloon inflated by fungal burps. Bon appétit! Now, when yeast gets going, it starts producing two things, carbon dioxide and alcohol. That's right, your bread dough gets a little tipsy before it goes in the oven. It's literally fermenting like beer, only more solid and less likely to end in karaoke. But this gas, this glorious gas, doesn't just disappear into the kitchen. It gets trapped. Why? Because flour has a special protein tag team, gluten. Gluten, despite what trendy cafes want you to think, is the unsung hero here. It creates a stretchy, elastic network that traps all those gas bubbles. Imagine trying to blow up a balloon inside a spider web made by an ambitious spider with a gym membership. That's your dough. So while the yeast is partying, gluten is standing there like a bouncer saying, "You can't leave. We need your gas. The bread depends on it." After the dough's been kneaded to within an inch of its life, it needs to chill. Well, rise, but chill spiritually. This stage is called proofing, which sounds like something Sherlock Holmes would do, but really it just means sit around and puff up. During proofing, the yeast keeps doing its thing, producing gas, and the dough stretches out like it just woke up from a nap. It's kind of adorable, honestly. It's also the only time you'll be encouraged to let something grow because of gas buildup. And if your dough is in the right warm environment, cozy, not too hot, not too cold, basically like Goldilocks Airbnb, the yeast works at full speed. All right, the moment of truth. You've waited, you've watched, maybe you even whispered to your dough like it was a houseplant. Now it's time to bake. The oven heats up, and all sorts of wild things happen. Yeast, being the dramatic diva it is, throws one final party. It goes nuts with gas production during the first part of baking. This is called oven spring, which sounds like a fancy bottled water, but is actually your loaf's last growth spurt. Eventually, though, the heat gets too intense and the yeast, well, dies. A tragic but noble end. But by then, the bread has puffed up like a proud pufferfish on a date. The heat also makes the gluten set, turning your gooey, gassy dough into a solid, springy loaf. the alcohol mostly evaporates unless your bread is planning to sneak into a speakeasy. Now, while all this is happening on the inside, something dramatic is happening on the outside too. The crust is forming. This is where the Maillard reaction kicks in, a fancy name for the thing that makes cooked food smell and taste amazing. It's the same process that browns meat, toasts marshmallows, and makes your bread crust look like it's got a perfect suntan. It's all thanks to sugars and amino acids doing a funky chemical dance under high heat. And that golden, crispy crust, that's your dough's graduation robe. It made it through fermentation, proofing, and a literal oven inferno. It deserves to shine. At the end of the day, bread rising is one of those tiny kitchen miracles we take for granted. It's science. It's art. It's the controlled inflation of gluten balloons by enthusiastic microscopic fungi. You mix a few ingredients, you wait, and you end up with this warm, puffy cloud of comfort. And yeah, okay, it's all made possible by gas and fungus. So, next time you bake bread, give a little nod to the yeast. Those tiny fungi are in there doing the heavy lifting. Literally, they eat, they burp, they die. And all so you can have something to toast at breakfast. That's dedication. That's drama. That's domestic bliss. Maybe it's not glamorous, maybe it's not magic, but it is science, and it's delicious. And honestly, if that doesn't make you want to hug a loaf, I don't know what will. So, my friends, the next time someone asks you why bread rises, don't just say, yeast. Hit them with the full story. Tell them about the gas. Tell them about the gluten trampoline. Tell them about the alcohol-fueled microbial rager that turns dough into delight. And if they still don't get it, just hand them a slice of warm bread and say, "Science tastes amazing, doesn't it?" And that's how bread rises when baking. It's all thanks to those tiny yeast party animals, some gluten teamwork, and a whole lot of hot, gassy science happening in your oven. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another bite-sized mystery. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.